Good morning.
Morning.
Just during this 4-game stretch, what have you heard from your coach, and how has kind of the team responded to it?
He's been telling us to kind of just move on. There's nothing we can do to change the past now. Now we just look forward and try to get the next points that are in front of us, and that we can get, the 4 games are done, and we can't really do anything about it but learn from them.
What do you feel like has to be done to those last 3 games without a goal? Just, I know you guys had opportunities, had shots on goal, but just really figure out what's going on in that final third and connect everything offensively.
Yeah, I think we just lack the clarity in the technical work in the final third. I feel like we've had a lot of missed opportunities just from missed passes that we know we're capable of doing, and that causes a lot of our attacks to break down, and we know we could do a lot better, and we will. So
What do you feel like your role is in Henrik's system so far? Where does he kind of see you play?
I think my role is honestly to connect the midfield to the attack, kind of stay in between, so there's not always a gap.
And excuse me for getting really far in the future, but the Olympics are coming to Columbus in 2028. You've been in the mix of the U.S. national team and would be in that age group to possibly make that team. Is that something that's crossed your mind at all with it being in Columbus and that announcement?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I saw that it was in Columbus, but I mean, right now I'm not thinking that far ahead. Have a lot in front of us right now, and that's kind of all I've been thinking about.
Like I said, I know it was far ahead. Thank you for answering.
No problem.
You mentioned your role. You've played in a few different positions, and even on Saturday, I think you moved back into midfield and some changes were made. How difficult is that when you start a game in one role and either you change mid-game or you're changing from game to game, especially for a younger player?
Honestly, not that difficult, to be honest. I think I'm kind of used to playing both of those roles. I've started games in both of those roles, so I know what to expect. Sometimes it can be tough the first couple of minutes. You have to adjust. You don't know. You're not used to the players in that area that you're playing against in the field, and you kind of just adjust and get to work.
You've obviously been a key part of the counter-pressing, turning teams over. Where does that come from in your game, and do you feel like, what about that do you feel like you can continue to improve on?
That's honestly, I like kind of just running after the defenders. I don't like letting them have an easy job. I like just making it as hard as possible for them, and the higher we win the ball, the easier it is for us to score. That's kind of just my mentality going into it, and I think the thing I can improve on is probably just the physical ability. The defenders I'm going with are a lot bigger, and some are a lot faster. So.
And you guys obviously were scoring those first 2 games, and I know Henrik's talked about kind of a shift to tighten things up defensively, and maybe that's taken away offensively a little bit. But when you're working with or talking with guys like Diego and Wissam, do you sense frustration right now with the way things are going offensively, or is it kind of like, hey, we did it, we just need to get back to that?
A little bit, with those guys, they're the highest level players in this league. They always want to score, so they'll always have that frustration when they don't score. But I'm pretty sure we know it's going to come. We know they're both capable of getting us goals, and the whole team is confident in them and us, like the whole team, to get goal. Not just them too, but for them too, they always want to score. So yeah.
Thank you.
Taha, when a player like Andre Gomez joins the training pitch for the first time, personally, tell us what goes through your mind when you watch him handle the ball and participate.
It's mind-boggling, honestly. Growing up, I was a Real Madrid fan, but I was always watching, always playing against him, and to see someone at that level share the pitch with you is crazy, and you can just see the difference in quality and the IQ of play, and that's something I noticed from him right away. So it's really cool to see.
What does that do for your personal drive?
Honestly, it's very helpful. You know, it's almost like how I had the super experienced player, and you know, I love learning from players like that, older players that have been through a lot, and he's been really nice and willing to help here. So I'm excited to work with him.
You've been a part of a very advanced club for a long time here in Columbus. You've grown up in a generation where information is readily available in the palm of your hand. How much do you rely on data after a performance like the one on Saturday?
Honestly, not much. You know, I've never really believed in stats and data prove how you play. That, you know, there's some things that stats can't count.
Mm-hmm.
And if you played football, I think you would understand that.
So the numbers on the board at the end of 90 minutes plus is what matters the most?
Yeah, but I think it's the final score of when is all that matters, honestly.
Okay. Even though you don't believe in data, I'm just going to throw a number at you. Yes, Columbus is taking a lot of shots, not converting them to goals. However, the expected goals in a very small number of shots on target is pretty high. In fact, it's a top 6 number in the league right now. So the shot selection, when it comes to putting them on target, is actually quite good. There's got to be a level of optimism that comes from that. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, like I said earlier, we've created the chances. I think it's just the final execution that we have to be better at, and we can do better, and we're gonna do better. So we're excited for the next game.
Thank you.
Thank you.